Okay guys, just San here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at the GT Kid Goku. Now this guy is around 2 years old, so I do want to do a showcase just going over him, seeing how good he's looking. Because of course, with the 8th year anniversary approaching, it's possible we could see this guy Easy A. Now it's a little bit of a stretch, I'll admit, because he's not necessarily the oldest unit. And typically they like to Easy A units that are 3 or 4 years old. But this guy getting an Easy A isn't completely out of the equation because he's not necessarily amazing. For sure, compared to a lot of units today, he doesn't really hold up all too well. But he could still be pretty solid. And, we'll check that out going into this video. But just keep in mind, we might not see him Easy A, but we might, So we'll be speculating a little bit about that during the video. And, of course, tomorrow we will do a showcase on the GT Vegeta. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is the team we're going to be running him on. He is under a full 200% leader skill. We've got a bunch of support, and he's going to have a lot of his links active. So before we get into his kit, though, just make sure you guys like and subscribe. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so if you guys want to help me out in this journey, that'd be really awesome, but if not, I get it. And keep in mind there are timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip to the Legendary Vegeta event, or if you want to skip to the Red Zone test, which I think we're going to bring him versus Omega Shenron today. So if you want to skip to that, absolutely feel free to do it. And, yeah, let's just get into this guy's kit. So starting off with his leader skill, it is GT Heroes category Ki +3 and HP attack and defense plus 170%, or Goku's family category Ki +3, HP attack and defense plus 150%. So, a really good leader skill. GT Heroes is a pretty good team right now, and of course Goku family is that's a dominant team. Unfortunately, he is only buffing that for 150% though, so a lot of room to improve with his Easy A in terms of his leader skill. But, as it stands, 170 to GT Heroes is pretty viable, so that's not the worst leader skill. And if you're newer to the game or you're free to play or anything like that, you can for sure still have a lot of utility out of this leader skill. So moving into his super attack effect, he greatly raises attack and then raises defense for 1 turn, and then he causes immense damage to enemy and greatly lowers defense. So one thing I do want to specify about this is he is not stacking attack. The way this is worded is very confusing and weird, but he is greatly raising attack and then raising defense for 1 turn. But keep in mind, both of those are only for 1 turn. So I used to think this guy stacked attack, but he actually doesn't. He only gets the 50% attack buff for 1 turn, so just keep that in mind with this unit. And then getting into his passive, he gets attack plus 180%, and then defense plus 120%. He randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres, so he is rainbow orb changing, which is extremely useful. I would assume this would just make him work really good with the LR GT Kid Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So the headlining LR for the GT side of the 8th year anniversary. So for sure, I just want to check this guy out again just to see how well his rainbow orb changing abilities really are. Because if you could throw this guy on a team with the 8th year anniversary headlining LR of the Goku and Vegeta, and he could help them get a ton of ki. And depending on how dependent that unit is on ki, this guy could just significantly increase in his terms of in his utility. So for sure, basically what I'm trying to say with all that is him rainbow orb changing is really useful. I used a really confusing analogy right there, but I'm just trying to say he could be extremely useful just because of the rainbow orb changing. And then he gets an additional attack plus 20% when performing a super attack per key sphere obtained. So basically every key sphere he gets 20% attack, and then that attack buff applies when he's super attacking. And then he gets an additional defense plus 50% per GT category allies attacking in the same turn. So you are going to want to run this guy on a full GT Heroes team, which is kind of unfortunate because that's an extra 100% defense buff that you really want to make sure you're not missing out on. I think with this guy's Easy A, I would like for them to change it to maybe 50% defense per GT Heroes or Goku family category allies on the turn. Something like that I feel like would make him a lot more useful, just so you can run him in a lot of other teams. Because of course he's a Goku, so he's on a lot of really crazy teams, and limiting him to only GT Heroes to use his full power is kind of it's not really that good, I'll say that. So, but other than that, a really good passive right there. He's getting a lot of attack and defense. He's rainbow orb changing, and he for sure could look really solid. So getting into this guy's active skill condition and effect, the condition is that it can be activated after performing 4 or more super attacks in battle, so pretty easy to get activated. The effect is that he massively raises attack temporarily and then causes ultimate damage to enemy. So not really doing anything in terms of the effect, but you'll do a ton of damage, which is always good. And getting into this guy's links, it is Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, the Saiyan Lineage, Kamehameha, GT, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle. So a really good link set, especially because you are going to be running him with a lot of GT units. So the GT Link is going to be extremely useful just to have. And he's on a ton of categories as well, so just a really good unit overall in terms of his links and categories. His passive is a little dated, but of course with an easy A that could be fixed. So, I mean, yeah, with all that said, let's go ahead and cut to when we are in the Legendary Vegeta event. Alright, so we are here in the Legendary Vegeta event, and right here we got a really good rotation. We're going to have 5 out of 7 links, so we're only missing Golden Warrior and Prepared for Battle, which aren't really the craziest links in terms of stats, so for sure that's not really the biggest deal. And we have 40% support from the Trunks and Goten right here, and we do actually have this guy's full passive activated, so we have the additional 100% defense because we're on a rotation with other GT Heroes category allies. And start of turn, we're at 244k defense, which isn't really the craziest. I mean, because you got to keep in mind, he's only getting 30% defense on Super. So after we Super, we're just going to be a little over 300k defense, which by today's standards, that is horrible. But keeping in mind this guy's age, that's not really too bad because he did release right before, like, this very, very big power creep. So I'll admit, I mean, this was really good, like, a year ago, or maybe like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. Well, no, not a year ago, because we're about to be on the 8th year anniversary, and last year was the 7th year anniversary, so he was really good, like 2 years ago on release, but right now, this does kind of suck. But, I mean, let's see this guy's attack stat. We got a really good rotation with him. Let me make sure. Does he get 5 out of 7 links in slot 1? No, he does not. Alright, so we'll do this. We have... Oh, you know what? I'm going to risk it. I'm going to get all these AGL key spheres, and then we can get 9 key spheres with this guy. So we should get a really good attack stat right here because we did get pretty lucky with orbs. But in terms of our defense, we really were not looking all that good right there. We were only a little bit above 300k, which is not good considering we have a rotation like this, where we have 40% support, we have 5 out of 7 links active, and we do have his full passive activated. So I'm not really too impressed with his defense, but let's see what he gets in terms of his attack stat. Wow, okay, over 10 million. So defensively, not really that good, but offensively, damn, alright, 8 million damage, and we were greatly lowering defense right there, so you do got to keep that in mind. Oh my god, I swear, I hate this thing. I always get it when I don't want it. Whatever, alright, yeah, we'll just blow through this really quickly, but, I mean, yeah, overall, not really the worst rotation, or not really the worst turn for him, because defensively, it was pretty bad, but offensively, that was really good. I mean, we did get 9 key spheres, so we got pretty lucky, but, I mean, most of the time you're going to be getting, like, what, 6, 7, 8, 9 key spheres with him? So, for sure, if he's hitting around a 10 million attacks that consistently, that's really good. And if you do go full additionals with him, which I do suggest, and he is actually physical, so he just has the base 5 additional, then for sure you could do some really good attack stats. And once you start double supering, his defense is still going to be bad, but if you start to approach, like, what, around 500k defense with 2 10 million attack stats, that's pretty good. I mean, that'll provide some use for you at least. Maybe you'll still take a ton of damage from super attacks, but if you take him somewhere type advantage and you double super with him, he won't take that much damage from normals, but I mean, we'll see in the video, I guess. I think when he's facing Omega Shenron, I think we should be fine, just because Omega Shenron, I mean, in the first phase, he doesn't really hit that hard. So we'll probably be able to take double digits from him in there, but in the last phase, I don't know, I think we might take like 10k per normal. Just looking at his defense right here, but I don't know, maybe if we have a better situation for him, he'll look a little bit better. I mean, I think Prepare for Battle, I'm pretty sure that does give 5% defense, so it's not really that much defense, but still, it's worth mentioning. So actually, let me check really quick just to make sure. Well, actually, you know what, right here we got a really good rotation as well. Oh my god. Look at all those rainbow orbs. Let me just check and make sure really quickly. Yeah, Prepare for Battle gives... Okay, so it does give 5% defense. Alright, so yeah, we were missing 5% defense right there. Right here, though, we aren't really looking that good in terms of our links. However, in terms of support, we're looking a lot better. So as you can see right here, we did jump up to 271k defense start of turn, which is good. I mean, for sure, that's alright, again, considering his age. And he does get the 30% on super attack. I mean, by today's standards, that's not good, but considering his age, that is good. And after we super attack, once again, we're going to be a little over 300k defense, but of course, because our start of turn defense is a little higher, our defense is going to be a little bit higher as well. So, yeah, right here, we can get 8 key spheres, And we did not get the full support from the Guru and Trunks, which is kind of unfortunate. I forget how many key spheres we needed, but I mean, it is what it is. We still do have, I think, 60% support right here. So 60% support. We do have our full passive activated as well because we are still on a full GT Heroes category rotation. And we dropped down to a 9 million attack stat. So still not really that bad. 9 million is a pretty solid number. Even though he doesn't have any built-in crits or additionals, around a 9 million attack stat is still really good. And you do have to keep in mind he is Rainbow Orb changing as well, which is really useful. I mean, I'm sure you hear other YouTubers talk about how useful Rainbow Orb changing is, and they're not exaggerating. It really is useful. So the fact that this guy is providing the Rainbow Orbs for all of his teams are really good because, I mean, I showed it earlier when we were going over the unit. He has some crazy categories. He has a lot of categories too. I mean, he's on a lot of stuff like Pure Saiyans, Goku Family, GT Heroes, but just because he's a Goku, so, I mean, for sure, if this guy can just be good defensively, which, I mean, with the Easy A, he could be, as long as they do it correctly, then this guy could be one of the most useful units to have in the game. But, of course, that requires him to get an Easy A, and if we don't see him Easy A during the 8th year anniversary, then it's probably going to be a minute before we see him Easy A. And I don't know if it's that possible we'll see him Easy A. There just really isn't any other GT options for Easy A's. Just because that team is, not that it's like, it's weak or that it's, or it's small, because it's a pretty decent sized category, but all the main hype units have already Easy A'd. So I don't really know how many other options there are. But right here, we're going to have 12 key spheres. Okay, so a really good rotation in terms of key spheres. We have 30% support from this Goku, or 33% attack support. And then I'm going to try and make sure we can get the key spheres to get the support from the Trunks and Guru. Let me check what we need, though. So we need... okay, we need 7 key spheres. Don't really know if we're going to be able to get that right here. Yeah, no, I don't think we can. Oh, okay, perfect. 7 key spheres. So right here, we're looking pretty good in terms of support. We're taking a little bit of damage, but you do have to keep in mind, if we supered first, probably we would be taking double digits right here. Well, not with the super, but with normals. And we did have our defense lowered right there as well. Wow. Okay, but we jump up to almost a 14 million attack stat. Alright, so what I'm getting from this is that this guy's damage is crazy. Yeah, look, we got the additional for almost a 15 million attack stat now. So yeah, I mean, once this guy starts getting double supers off and you start getting a lot of key spheres, his damage will skyrocket. I mean, look at that. 11 million damage crit. That's pretty damn good. That is really good, actually. So, I mean, for sure, I gotta admit, this guy's damage is insane, but his defense is a little lacking. What we'll do is we'll showcase this next rotation with him right here. We'll pop his active skill, and then we'll cut to the red zone test because there's not really much else to show with this guy. He doesn't really build up or anything, so other than his active skill, we'll pretty much have already shown everything about him. And then, like I said, we'll cut into the Omega Shenron red zone stage, see how good he performs in there, and we'll probably call it a video. But, I mean, I don't know if he'll take double digits from Omega Shenron, but I do know for sure this guy will do a ton of damage to him. Because especially if you bring him in a stage type advantage, which it's what you're going to be doing most of the time with this guy, just because he's a little older, so you want to make sure he has that to fall back on. He's going to be doing a ton of damage, especially if you start getting crits and additionals off. I mean, we got the crit and additional off on the last turn. We saw he did an 11 million crit, and what was it, like a 15 million additional? So, I mean, yeah, this guy's damage is still really good, but let's check out his active skill right here. Let me make sure I have the skip off. Skip. Oh, I did have it on. Okay, so yeah, just turn that off. Start of turn. Well, okay, well, we got our defense lowered, so that's why it's a little lower right there. And let's go ahead and pop this. Really quick active skill. I gotta admit, that was really fast. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we could just cut now. This isn't really the craziest rotation. We have our defense lowered too, so not really any purpose in showing this. So, alright, well, with all that shown, let's go ahead and cut to when we are in the Omega Shenron red zone stage. Okay, so we are starting off right here with a pretty good rotation. we're going to have 6 out of 7 links active. So actually, I think that's the most links active we've had in the video so far. And right here, we're at 280k start of turn defense. Not really that bad. You do have to keep in mind it's a little bit higher because I did actually bring a support memory. I brought the GT Heroes one, so of course throughout this fight his stats are going to look a little bit better. But just keep in mind an extra 10% attacking defense. So right here, 280k start of turn defense, and that's pretty good because after we super, we're going to be, what, around 350k defense. Alright, so right here we're only going to get 6 key spheres, so his attack stat is probably going to be a little bit lower right here, but I am still curious what he's going to hit because this is a more realistic turn. We're not getting like 10 or 9 key spheres, we're only getting 6, which is what you're going to be getting most of the time, especially if you don't get lucky with his Ramble Orb changing. So, I mean, yeah, let's see what attack stat he hits. Wow, okay, still a 9.1 million attack stat. That's pretty impressive. I gotta say, especially considering we only got 6 key spheres. Yeah, and we crit for 8.3 million damage. Alright, I'm pretty impressed. I gotta say, this guy's damage is insane. His defense is obviously a little on the lower end, because again, right there, we were only at around 350k defense. So if we got supered right there, we still would have taken probably over 100k, which is not really that good type advantage, especially because this is only the first phase of Omega. So not really that impressive in terms of his defense, but I mean, offensively right there, like I've said a million times in the video, he's good. So what we'll do is we'll showcase him in the STR phase. So we'll kill right here, and then we'll showcase the next rotation. And I'm almost positive we're gonna die, just because the STR phase is gonna hit that guy for like 100k per normal. And then we'll probably hop back in and then cut to the final phase, and then see how well he's tanking in there. Because if we get lucky and get 2 supers, maybe we'll be able to tank double digits from the final phase of Omega. If we get lucky. I don't really know how this GT Goku is built. If he's built full additionals, then we'll probably get it, and then bam, double digits. But if not, we'll probably take like 10, 20k per normal. So actually, let me check really quick how this, because I'm on a private server, of course. I'm not on my actual account. So I want to check really quick how this Goku is built. Okay, after all the active skills go away. So he is built... Okay, so spread of additionals and crits. So we got a pretty good chance of doing both. 239 start of turn defense, or 239k start of turn defense. And right here, we can get 7 key spheres. So 7 key spheres, we've got his full passive activated. We have no support, and we have type disadvantage right here. So, I mean, let's see how good he can perform. Wow, even the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku took 58k on a normal. I mean, granted, this was before we super attacked. And of course, this guy gets the majority of his defense on super. That's still a lot, so. Alright, well, yeah, we're getting super here. We're fine, though. Whoa, okay, we're not. Alright, that was a lot more than I thought. Let's go ahead and just cut to the final phase and see how well he's tanking in there. Alright, we're here in the final phase, and right here, we're going to have 3 out of 7 links active. We have the 40% support from the Goten and Trunks. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put the Gogeta here because I want Super Saiyan active, just so we can have some more attack. But yeah, we're at 221k start of turn defense. We're gonna get 13 key spheres, so I mean, we're gonna do a pretty good attack stat right here. And let's see if he's taking double digits. So we are taking 1 attack before we super, and then we're taking 1 attack after we super. So as long as we don't kill, we get to see how much damage he would take before and after. Okay, so 100k on the normal there. I'm pretty sure we're gonna kill right here, but it's safe to say even if we got like 2 supers, we would not have tanked double digits. So 10.8 million crit though. I mean, that's some good damage. Yeah, this guy is crazy in terms of his offense, but just, you know, defensively, he's not really all there. So yeah, that has been the video. Let me know what you guys think of this guy down in the comments. Let me know if you want to see him easy A. Personally, I'd love to see this guy easy A. He's still really good in terms of his attack stats and everything like we've shown in the video. But defensively, he needs some improvements. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.